1, 2, 3, 4. So we recorded this the night before we got this news. So we woke up this morning, I woke up this morning with Robert Kraft reportedly not being in the Hall of Fame. That's a shocker. That it had to have been one or the other at the very least. Preferably both of them deserve to be in on the first time. I mean, this is Robert Kraft's first time being a finalist. Absolute bullshit. I don't know what the voters are seeing. And I'm recording this because in this episode, we did say that, this congratulations, Robert Kraft. Well, I guess it's not a congratulations. I don't know what the fuck happened. He deserves to be in the Hall of Fame. It's just as disappointing as Bill Belichick. And I think there needs to be some revisions to the Hall of Fame and the voters and the process of this. Because if they are holding back, if they have biases against what the Patriots have done over the past 25 years, over the past 30 years, Robert Kraft has been a model owner. He has done everything that a team owner should do. And Belichick is the greatest coach of all time. Most Super Bowl wins. He is second in all-time wins. Most playoff wins. I mean, those two are worthy of being in the Hall of Fame, and it's a shame if they have to wait a year. I know that they will eventually make it, but at this very moment, it sucks. And this Hall of Fame it's kind of a sham. And I know that they're both disappointed, and I think every fan is probably disappointed as well. And I think even the biggest Patriots hater, like we said in this episode, can agree that those two belong in the Hall of Fame. And yeah, so correction. Unfortunately, it's not a congratulations, Robert Kraft, which is BS. I wonder who keeps leaking these stories. I'm curious to see who on the senior committee got voted, if anyone. Maybe none of them got voted, which, again, that would be kind of a black mark on it as well. But those are just my thoughts. We will continue with this episode.
Yeah, I can't adjust it. I have to hold it like this, otherwise, if I let go, it just
it just swings.
Yeah.
Your house is uneven there, bud. All right.
Yeah, it's all the Derby House all over again.
The Derby House all over again. The Derby House Redux.
Oh, jeez. Oh, God.
All right, I am good to go.
I'm good to go. I'm recording.
Let's give it a...
Damn, I've been recording for 3 minutes now.
3, 2, 1. Welcome back to the silky sounds of the Packy Run podcast. I am your co-host, AJ Smooth Jazz La Gambina.
Name one smooth jazz artist.
Miles Davis?
I don't know if he's smooth, but
Kenny G.
Sure. Okay. Fine.
The only one that anybody knows.
And I am Dan Mayotte.
And today we are here to bring you, well, we don't have that much of a plan, which ends up usually resulting in some really good episodes. But I think that we have to start with just some Super Bowl preview. The Patriots,
yes.
The Seahawks. What are we expecting? How are we feeling just under a week out? what are we feeling? How confident are we?
This whole time I'm kind of like, why not us? That has been the the phrase that I keep thinking about every single time somebody asks me about the Super Bowl. I'm like, you know what? Why not us? Like, um, it's an interesting game. Um, it kind of reminds me of the 2014 Super Bowl. And it's not just because it's the same two teams. Because I was rewatching that Super Bowl because yesterday was the anniversary of like the Malcolm Butler interception, if you remember that.
Yep.
Um, and they so the whole storyline with that team, or not just, well, both teams going into it, the Seahawks had this phenomenal defense. The Legion of Boom, they they had an upstart quarterback in Russell Wilson, who he could hold his own, but he wasn't yet that franchise guy. He was still really early on in his career. Not that Sam Darnold has been in his career for a little bit at this point. He's a little bit more of a veteran, but I think last year he really came into his own being a starting quarterback, especially for the Vikings, and really surprised a lot of people. And I think he has surprised a lot of people this year with his play. So he's serviceable in the same way that Russell Wilson is. That defense, I don't know if it's I don't know if it's on that same level, but it's a really good team. And we were headlined that year by, of course, Tom Brady. We had a great offense, just and we had a young upstart defense. I mean, we had second year or third year, I believe. Like, we had Chandler Jones, we had Jamie Collins, we had Dante Hightower, we had Kyle Arrington, Devin McCourty. It's kind of similar in the way that we have it with this team. It's just very similar to what it was 11 years ago. And I'll let you get a chance to talk now because I just was rambling on for a little bit there.
No, I feel the Red Sox throwback to why not us is,
Yeah.
I think that's spot on. I think that's part of the appeal of this Patriots team and this Patriots season. We covered it last episode. I know that we might have a couple of new listeners this episode. In the circles that Dan and I run in, we are probably the two biggest Patriots fans that anybody knows of.
Absolutely.
It's a, for better or for worse, it's a defining characteristic of us as people, especially when we're hanging out, in professional settings or even just socially. Like, it's part of the reason why the podcast exists, right? Like, we are the guys where it's like, wow, they know a lot about Patriots and they know a lot about punk rock. That's that is their bag. That is their thing. And
For sure.
having that kind of reputation, and still at the beginning of this season sitting back and being like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know about this team.
Yeah.
Like, we're hopeful, but like, yeah, maybe they doubled their win total. Like, a coaching overhaul was needed. Drake May's got wheels. Like, nobody, we were singing his praises all of last year. What little we recorded, but still,
Yeah.
we were all in. But, kind of the party line for us and a lot of other New England Patriots fans was like, oh, okay, maybe we make it to wild card and then get bounced in the first round. Nobody was thinking deep playoff run. Nobody was like,
that wasn't.
it was
on
a
anyone's
fatwa
bingo
up
card,
until
for sure.
4 weeks ago. If you said the words Patriots Super Bowl,
Yeah.
it was haram. That was not to be discussed because it wasn't going to happen.
No. Last episode, I said something to the effect of, even if they don't win, this is still like a huge season. It's I don't think anyone in their wildest dreams thought this was possible. And to be in this position, like, unbelievable.
Yeah, I just think that we're lucky to even be here.
Yeah.
And that's
absolutely.
That's first and foremost. However, I love if you listen, I don't know if you listened to the episode of Axe to Grind that I was telling you about, or if anybody has ever listened to Axe to Grind, Worst Possible Timeline, any interview with Patrick Kindlon. He has this hilarious, he gets so violent with the word but. He'll go on a whole diatribe like I just did, like, no, we are just so lucky.
Right.
But I am conservative.
You have to really
Not
make that
politically.
distinction, because people are weird.
Yeah. I am conservative. I am conservative in my predictions for this upcoming weekend.
Right.
On the whole, but I am more and more convinced that we can do this. I think a lot of it hinges on Drake May and his playing, because he hasn't been great. And I don't think that it's a wise
Yes.
move in the Super Bowl to fully rely on your defense. We have to be aggressive. And as long as Drake May and Josh McDaniels dial it up a little bit, and I'm not talking the trick play stuff. We saw a couple of those in the Denver game and things like that. Like, don't get too fucking fancy with it, guys. Like, don't overthink it. Don't get too flashy. You just need, like, he needs to be dialed in, and I think that he can be. We've seen it multiple times this season. The offense needs to show up, and they need to play their best game of the year. And I know that that's not anything that any talking head isn't already fucking saying on the national media, but I do think that it's really true. Like, I think the outcome of this game, I think it's going to be a close game, and I think it's going to be entirely decided by what the playoffs. The playoffs this year, Drake May has been a little bit Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like, which version of Drake is showing up on Sunday? If he shows up and he's dialed in and he's as accurate as we've seen him be, and he uses his legs smartly,
I think
to win the Super Bowl.
This doesn't have to do with Drake May, but it has to do with our defense. I think a shining light that I didn't even mention last week, Denver's offensive line is considered the best offensive line in the league, and we got after Jarrett Stidham, it felt like, every single play. I mean, the Seahawks also have a pretty good offensive line as well. I feel pretty good about how our defensive line has performed this postseason. And I think if you can dial up the pressure with Sam Darnold, I mean, there were a couple games this year he had multiple turnovers. He had multiple turnovers against the Rams one of those weeks. I mean, and, you know, you dial that up, and I think we have a chance. Why not? Yeah.
I mean, we need one more game out of Milton Williams.
He's worth all the money.
Williams to just
my God, he
lose his mind.
Worth all the money.
One more time.
All
this
the
season.
money that they gave him this offseason.
Just let Milton cook, and
yeah,
I think I want Sam Darnold to be seeing ghosts again. That is. In my heart of hearts, I want the ghost of Milton Williams to be in his face when he goes to bed on Sunday night.
I'd like to see us. I mean, I think the conditions in Denver, no one was going to move the ball regardless. I think there was no way. I mean, there was no way we were going to see a good performance out of Drake May, and we couldn't get any footing. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson, Travion Henderson couldn't get anything going on the ground game. I'd like to see us dial it up with the runs. I'd like Drake to I'd like him to take the check down. That is one thing that when I was like watching that game from 11 years ago, Tom Brady, check down merchant, all that guy. Yep. Like, I think Tom Brady's a little boring to watch at times, but like he is a machine. He just takes the check down. He takes the easy completion. He takes what the defense gives him. And I think that's what Drake needs to focus on. And he needs to just do that. A little concerned about that. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, it doesn't.
No.
You don't have to get it all in one swing. You've got 3 chances to move those chains. If if you're taking those little tiny plays, we've talked about it when it comes to Brady all the time. Like if you can get that death by 1,000 cuts thing going, it doesn't matter if it takes you 3 downs to get your first down, but if each one of those 3 downs you're picking up, 2, 3, 4 yards, you're going to dominate your time of possession and you're going to make it down to the red zone.
Like the one thing,
I said,
I love Drake May. I think Drake May is fantastic. If it's one thing I don't like about Drake May, sometimes he wants to chuck that ball like he wants the big play all the time. And you can't have that with the Seattle defense. The Seattle defense is really good. And I think
well, and that's why I started pointing at you earlier, because you've made the point a couple of times, and I think it is worth noting, and something that people have short memories, man. We just played over the past 3 weeks.
Yep.
We played 3 of the top defenses in the NFL, and Drake didn't look like, for lack of a better term, he didn't look like Superman the entire time, but our offense still managed to carve up those defenses.
I mean, it was
like, they ranked 5th or 6th. Like they were close to top of the pack, but they weren't.
The Seattle defense is also a top 5 defense.
This
4
season.
top 5 defenses. Yeah.
It's a hard road to go, but statistically speaking, we have now faced harder.
Not a dome, outside. It is outside.
And now we get to play in a dome. My biggest...
Yeah, not even San Francisco.
My biggest concern, it's Santa Clara.
Right.
I know. It's one of those things like at least we have the decency of calling it the New England Patriots.
Okay.
Instead of Boston. I'll let you finish your point in a second, but I'll let you finish, but
Drake May had the best season of all time.
My biggest concern is that the lights are going to be too bright. We saw it multiple times this season where Drake got like, I'll be okay. It'll be calm. But I'm really worried that the first quarter, we're going to see a very jittery Drake May. And I'm not entirely sure we can afford to see that this week.
Yeah, I mean, the key with any game, you have to start strong. And I have no doubt that our defense will play up to task. I'm just a little worried about the offense, because that's what's really, it hasn't held us back enough this postseason, and Drake has done enough. Like if that was any other quarterback, if that was Mac Jones, if that was Cam Newton, Bailey Zappi, Joe Milton, Jared Stidham, like I just named all, like Brian Hoyer, like any of those quarterbacks wouldn't be able to do what Drake May has done this postseason. Absolutely not. I'm a little concerned about that shoulder injury. Looked like he went into that Denver game with that surgery already, but
I think that is a head fake.
It's also a little blown out of proportion because
I think that the Patriots themselves are making it blown out of proportion.
Yeah.
I think it's part of the game.
It definitely is.
I saw somebody point out, I forget if it was maybe a TikTok video or some shit. They were like, every single Super Bowl that Tom Brady or Peyton Manning started, they were listed on the questionable report.
Yes.
And the thought process supposedly is that putting them on the questionable report means that teams are obligated or feel obligated to spend time researching the other quarterbacks on the team and what other packages they might do. Like it's a deception game. I think that Drake is probably, I mean, it's the end of a long season. Yeah, he's probably banged up.
Everyone's banged up.
A shot to that shoulder.
Yeah. Well, also,
for sure.
What's bullshit is the doctor, Dr. Chow. Because like I don't know if you watched his video, because he was the one who was like, oh, Drake May's shoulder. Drake May like is hurt with his shoulder. Like a former doctor for like the Chargers or whatever. He was like, so on this play he got like injured and he's grimacing when it was like he was just adjusting his shoulder pads, and then like what doesn't make sense is he was like, all right, and on the very next play it was like the flea flicker for like against Mac Hollins, and he was like, oh yeah, see, like he was like, oh, like, see a flea flicker. That's because his shoulder, he has an injured shoulder. I'm like, so he threw a 20-yard pass to Mac Hollins and his shoulder hurts?
He threw a 20-yard flea flicker?
Maybe it was 30. I don't know. Like, so
the point of a flea flicker is to confuse the defense. Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Like, okay.
All right.
It just didn't make sense.
Yeah, we've got the armchair experts out here.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's going to be tough. Everyone's banged up. It's the end of the season. You're going to the Super Bowl. Like, everyone wants this. Everyone wants it. I'm sure Sam Darnold wants it a lot more than anyone else. I mean the redemption arc. Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Sam Darnold. Like we were memeing on him. He was such a huge NFL meme for a while, especially in New England.
And I've said it before, I'll say it again. I love a good Cinderella story when it comes to sports. And I'm not sure if I said this on the last episode. The number one thing that I want to happen on Sunday is a Patriots Super Bowl win.
Yep.
Because it would be the signifier of potentially a new dynasty with how young this team is, with how much salary cap we have, with like just the raw talent that we have.
Yep.
A win on Sunday is a warning shot to the entire fucking NFL. Like, you guys fell asleep. You didn't think it would happen, and here we are. The boys are back, baby.
Oh, yes.
I will not be happy, but I will after a couple of days of feeling very bad about myself and my team, I will laugh if the Seahawks in the fourth quarter manage to turn around and get some miracle play that wins them the Super Bowl. If they flip the script on us, I will take a couple of days. I will go underground. I will not talk to anybody, and I will eat my weight in really, really shitty food. And really crappy beer. But I will laugh if that's how it goes, because those little Cinderella story, people joke about the script all the time. I'm still not buying it.
Yeah.
But if that's how it goes down, I mean, it'll be like the Eagles Super Bowl all over again.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of Philly fans in my life, and I tell them all the time, like, we tried to do the Philly play earlier in that game. And then for you to turn around and do the exact same play in the exact same spot of the field, and for Nick Foles to turn around and get it, like, yep. Sealed the deal. You deserve that one.
I mean, to go off track a little bit, like, that was Brady's best individual performance in a Super Bowl, and that our defense let him down 100%.
There's not a
and then the whole
depending on who you talk to, Bill let him down.
Well, and I mean, but Malcolm Butler wasn't the only reason that defense sucked. Matt Patricia's kind of a hack, if we're being real here.
Yeah, and you know how you know that's true is that even the most die-hard, not even Philly fans, Patriots haters.
Yep.
People that hate the Patriots in their blood, like in their blood cells, there is hatred for the Patriots. Even those people turn around and they go, Brady played a hell of a game, though.
Yeah, that was probably his best game of his entire, like, out of all the Super Bowls he played, that's probably one or two.
Yeah, just one man is not enough. It's the ultimate team sport.
I mean, you can't win it's hard to win a game when you give up 40-something points.
Yep.
Like,
can't do it.
Yeah. I don't see this game getting to that point. I think
no.
I'm not going to predict score because I don't know.
Same here. I'm not in that kind of business.
It's going to be a grinded out game, for sure. I don't see it being like last year's Super Bowl, which was a blowout.
Yeah, I don't see it being that. I also don't see it being the Patriots Rams game where it's just, I don't think it's going to be all defense all the time, but I think it's going to be a minor mud fight, and my gut tells me that I'm thinking by about 8-9 minutes into the third quarter, we're going to have a pretty good idea of who's coming out as a winner.
Yeah, I could see that. I think both teams are going to score at least 20 points.
Yeah.
I know that's a kind of a boring prediction, but like, I think if I had to go with a score, maybe like something like 27-20.
Yeah, maybe we cross the 30 threshold. If one of the teams gets real hot, if they figure out the other side, I think maybe we cross the 30 threshold. But yeah, I think we're pretty safe in saying that, like, we're gonna be in the mid-20s by the end of Sunday night. But
someone to look out for the Seattle Seahawks, Rashid Shaheed. I know that he has been a sensation with kickoff returns. I mean, he ran one back immediately against the 49ers. And he did a punt return against the Rams, not in the NFC Championship game, but like one of those games earlier this season. He is someone to look out for. He is a real weapon. Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Yeah,
and Jigba. He is huge on that team. I expect Christian Gonzalez to try to lock him down. But
that's probably my matchup of the game.
But
I'm really interested to see that.
But then, Seattle also has pretty good players as well on the other side. Devin Witherspoon is a really good corner. Him going up either against Keishon Boutte or Diggs. Ernest Jones, linebacker, he's pretty good. You have Leonard Williams up the middle, defensive tackle. You have DeMarcus Lawrence off the edge. Chinua off the edge. Nick Uriamie, I think that's how you pronounce his name. I'm sure we'll hear it on the broadcast plenty, especially since he is
plenty.
We'll hear him plenty. He is their best safety. There's some good. This is a good matchup. It's a good Super Bowl.
I think it's more even than a lot of people are giving it credit for.
Absolutely. Mike Vrabel has been a coach before, but this is Mike McDaniel's first Super Bowl. I know that Ravens fans are or Mike McDonald, excuse me, not McDaniel. Mike McDaniel is a little different. But Mike McDonald, first time head coach, he's done a great job. I'm sure the Ravens are kind of kicking themselves not being able to have him as the coach.
Yeah.
Mike Vrabel, second time at the go around being a head coach, and man, he built a culture in 1 year.
He did. And it's funny. It's just funny. I think it kind of comes down to good ownership when you compare.
Yeah. This game's going to come down to good coaching. Who is going to have the better coach?
The game is going to come down to good coaching, but I think the reason why these teams are here is that that stable ownership side and that.
Well, the Seahawks are apparently selling the team.
No shit.
Apparently the team is getting sold, and I think I saw a little blip that possibly the New England Patriots let that slip through not slip through the cracks, but they kind of leaked that.
Win now, boys, I guess.
So, it makes sense. Their longtime owner, Paul Allen, he recently passed away. I'm sure his kids or family doesn't maybe wants a nice payday.
Huh. Interesting how these things work.
Yes. So we'll see.
Well, as we are talking about predictions and moving forward, I did a little bit of content farming earlier today. Yeah? I'm not sure if you saw in the Discord that we are a part of. We have a roster of gentlemen that are all part of this Discord and are all big sports fans. The vast majority of them anyway. And I posted earlier today, and I just said, I'm content farming, but everybody in the chat, give us your hot takes about the Super Bowl. Shall we react to some hot takes about the Super Bowl? Some of them are hotter than others.
Yes. Let me read what you got. Let me read some of these because I tend to stay off my computer or stay off my phone during it.
I can read. I can read them all.
Yeah, let's do it.
Our first response comes from a friend of the podcast, Mr. Sean Harkins, the commissioner of our fantasy football league. I'll give some snaps.
That's all you get.
His response, other than the Patriots winning, which doesn't seem to be a hot take anymore, I have none. Well done, Sean. You managed to be ice cold.
I mean, I think it's a hot take if you aren't from New England.
If you haven't been watching this team like a hawk, then yeah, it might be a hot take. But for the most part, yeah, I think it's more than a possibility. I wouldn't push it to being likely, but we're not far off.
For sure.
Next up, friend of the pod, Mr. Pat Marr. This might get me kicked from the server, but my hot take is that we're going to get bent over a table, and we should still consider this an amazingly successful season. Please note that I would be ecstatic to be incorrect and will happily take any and all clowning next Monday if I am.
I 100% agree with this take. Or no, not 100%, but like I don't think we're going to get bent over a table, but I agree with the second part that this season, regardless, is a huge success.
Yeah, I think I'm calling cold take here. The season is a success, win, lose, or draw on Sunday, but I don't think we're getting bent over a table. I think that this is going to be entirely a closer game than anybody is really giving it credit for. And while I think that we should be thankful that the fact that we're even in this spot is absolutely incredible. We keep saying it. We'll keep saying it. We'll say it if we lose when we record next.
Absolutely.
Like, incredible season, got way more than we bargained for. But I don't see this being a blowout game. I think this is in the trenches. I think it's going to go back and forth, and like I said, I think it's going to take about halfway through the third quarter before we get a real idea of like, oh, this is really going our way, or oh, we're still a couple of pieces away here.
It's going to be a competitive game. I think it will. I think we can count on that.
Now we start getting into the people that I will not name by name. I will use their usernames because, not that they're not friends of the pod, but we don't need to dox anybody.
Even though you just doxed the other two.
Insufferable Picker says, for karmic balance, my hot take is going to be that we get a blowout more akin to the Pats Rams Super Bowl, which Pat very swiftly responded to, wasn't the final score of that game like 9-3. This is neither a hot nor a cold take. This is a bad take.
I mean, I think I'm trying to
in fact, I'll get a little bit spicy. This is a take like your dog ate something that he wasn't supposed to and is now destroying your yard with no hope of being able to pick it up with a plastic bag. This is a blowout more akin to the Pats Rams Super Bowl. First of all, you're wrong. Second of all, you're wrong. And third of all, have you watched football this season?
I'm trying to think. I mean, if they said Eagles Chiefs, I'd be like, okay, like, yeah, that was a blowout. Like last year. Like last year's Super Bowl was a blowout. Or like Seahawks, like Broncos. That was a huge blowout. Yeah, I mean, could it be a blowout? Sure. I guess. Like anything's possible. Like it's not
Sunday,
out of the realm of out of the realm of possibilities.
I'm not buying it. I'm not buying the bro. It's not going to be a blowout.
No. What's the next take?
Insufferable Picker follows up after Pat's response with better phrasing, decisive. It's going to be a decisive win. I do think the score was higher. It wasn't that much higher. I think it was like 10-3 or something. It was a insufferable picker.
It was 13-3.
Yeah, you're picking insufferably, so good job on the name. Next, we have Thornberry. Like Nigel Thornberry.
No comment.
Marianne. No. It's been a while since we brought that one back.
Oh, God.
Thornberry says, I guess my hot take is our defense is hard carrying us right now. Drake made some very good runs, but throwing has been off. Kind of a lukewarm take, actually. I think... I don't fully disagree that our defense is carrying us right now. But we've talked about it for 2 episodes now. Like, we've faced the top three or top 4 defenses in the entire NFL on this postseason run. And our defense have shown up and absolutely kept us in the game.
Kind of carried us, to be honest.
I think they carried us to an extent, but I also don't like. We're talking about 4 sides of the ball: offensive, the offense's offense, the offense's defense, and then our defense and our offense. Our defense has been ridiculously good, underrated for sure.
Lights out.
A lights out defense. Our offense has struggled because our offense has spent this playoff run playing against the absolute top defenses, which we didn't really do all season. So yeah, our offense looks a little bit underpowered. This checks out. As far as the Seahawks, they're not the top of the top of the top on defense.
I mean, they're like they're a top 4 unit.
Go ahead.
They're top 4 or another top 5 defense.
I think they were ranked 5th or 6th. I don't think that they are statistically ranked as high.
So I have it.
I'm gonna need you to look it up.
So I have it up right now.
I'll eat it if I'm wrong.
They've let up the least amount of points, but you are right. They are 6th in allowed yards.
So they're not the top of the iceberg. We face the top of the iceberg. The Texans were number 1, I believe. So like when you break it down like that, all of a sudden you start looking at the Seahawks and going, if our defense can hold it together, it's not like our offense is facing the Texans again. Although it's the Super Bowl, they're going to be hungry. It's their last game of the year. There's plenty of reasons to worry. But on the stat sheet, Monday, February 2nd, almost a week before the Super Bowl, I'm not looking at these stat sheets and
going, the Chargers
oh my
were
God,
5th.
We've got a mountain to climb. We've got, we're climbing
Broncos
Everest.
Were 2nd.
We already did.
And then the Texans were 1st.
Yeah, so, okay. Statistically speaking, we've already seen supposedly the best of what we're going to see. And now we're going to mild climate at the worst. For those of you listening at home that can't see this FaceTime call, I'm shrugging my shoulders. I think we got a pretty good chance. I'm not seeing the defense fully carrying us. I'm seeing them being...
Yeah. I mean...
They could very well be the factor that wins us a Super Bowl, but I'm not saying that they're the only factor. I think we're going to be pleasantly surprised as Patriots fans watching offensive football. All right, and then we got some discourse that we'll ignore. We've got Pat in
For sure.
here again saying if we hold the Seahawks offense to less than 2 touchdowns, I'll be frankly astonished. And this year's defense will go on the pedestal of all-time greats. Now we're getting to now we're warming up a little bit.
Now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting to hot takes.
Just that. I think that 2 touchdowns and a bunch of field goals is not that far off from what this game might actually look like. And if we do hold them to 2 touchdowns or under, then yeah, I'm right there with you, Pat. I'm going to turn around and I'm going to start talking about this defense from this year. Like, I mean, that would be historic. That would be a historic run for this team.
Absolutely. So looking at the Seahawks offensive numbers, they scored the 3rd most and had the 8th most yards. So kind of like an 8th place offense. They were 8th in passing yards and they were 10th in rushing yards. Let me look at Sam Darnold's stats now. Looking at them now. I mean, Sam Darnold, 4,000 yards, 25 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, 27 sacks allowed. I mean, Sam Darnold had a good season. I'm not going to discount him. But I think if you can put pressure on him and get him to move out of the pocket and you force turnovers, I mean, I don't see a reason why we can't let up less than 14 points. I mean, or 14 points. I don't see any reason.
Before I finish up, Discord Corner, I'm going to drop my hot take. And it's just about the matchup.
Ooh.
Purely about the matchup. No statistics, no anything else.
Yeah.
Potentially, I think that this is the most regular season, as the kids say, the most regular season coded Super Bowl that we have seen in our lifetimes. The way that we're talking about it and the way that we're evaluating it, and I would argue the way that a lot of the national media is also doing it. So
right.
Much of the discourse, capital D discourse around this just feels like a regular season game, like an AFC, NFC, week 12 matchup. I don't think it's going to be particularly flashy. I would argue that even down to the halftime show. Can I say that too? This is
yeah.
My hot take is that this is going to be as exciting as it is as a Patriots fan and a Patriots lover and just a full-blown Homer lifer guy. I'm excited to see the outcome. I'm not excited because it's like, oh, it's a sure-blown thing or it's like a huge competition, like David Goliath kind of deal that some people are trying to make it. This just like, maybe it's the Mike Vrabel culture of the Patriots. Like maybe it's just different now, but it just feels so like, yeah, it's just the next game. This is just maybe a couple of commercials will be good. I finally saw a teaser for a commercial that looked okay.
Yeah.
But we can get into that a little bit later if we want to. This is just not
this. There's no big national stars in this game. And like last year's Super Bowl, we had Eagles, Chiefs.
Rematch.
We had Patrick Mahomes. We had Travis Kelce. We had Chris Jones. We had Jalen Hurts. AJ Brown, like big stars of the game. We had the year before that, Chiefs and San Francisco. Christian McCaffrey, George Kittle, like
storyline
all
of
these
Mr.
players that you
Irrelevant.
see. Right. You see all these players. Well, and I'm just also talking about like you see all these players on like national commercials. You can't go anywhere without seeing these players. I mean, Kansas City Eagles again. You had LA Rams and Cincinnati Bengals. You had Matthew Stafford and Odell Beckham Jr., Cooper Kupp, Aaron Donald. You had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. Like you see, those are like the stars of this game.
And you had the
Like you can't. You talk about them all the
stars
time.
in the stands too. You had like the Taylor Swift effect.
Yeah.
That nobody needs to talk about anymore when it comes to football. It's just, yep, she's just one of the wives and girlfriends. It's fine. This year, even the star power is like the top two, and there's a pretty big difference between the top two, but the top two stars that you're like looking forward to seeing sideline at this Super Bowl. You've got Cardi B, number one with a bullet, and the palace intrigue of, you know, her and Stephon Diggs and him having fucking 6 kids or whatever it is now.
Yeah.
And then you've got a giant cavern, and the next biggest star that's going to be on the sidelines is Ann Michael May.
No, Drake. I would say Drake May.
I'm talking
I think
like celebrity outside of football. Like, who's going to be...
I mean, yeah.
Bad Bunny's huge, and he's playing the halftime show, and that's all well and great, and like it's going to be the first halftime show in a while where I swear to God I'm not going to know any song. And I know people like to say that that's coded. I saw a couple of things on TikTok where like, if you say that you don't know Bad Bunny, I don't know Bad Bunny. I have nothing against Bad Bunny. I have no derogatory comments towards Bad Bunny, but I don't know. I got nothing here.
He puts on a hell of a show.
He was at the Jennifer Lopez Shakira one, and like I have a vague recollection of that song when I watched it back, but like
I saw him 2019 or 2020, like early 2020. Like
you've seen him live?
He puts on a really good show.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I saw him one time so when I lived in New York, I worked at Barclays, and he performed at Barclays, and I was, I remember I was working like the nosebleed section, which that's always the best section to work. 'Cause you're just chilling by the end. Like once everyone's in their seat, you're just watching the concert.
Oh,
it's fantastic. But like I remember staring at his stage, and I see like the Misfits logo, I see Black Flag, I see like the Minor Threat like sheep and all these old punk symbols, and I'm like, what the fuck? What is going on here? What is he a real one? Does he know?
On a future episode, you and I need to talk about the weird, like, I don't know what the term is, culture clash, maybe. This weird thing with like metal especially, but like metal, punk, hardcore, the way it like weirdly crept in the past, we're probably going on 10 years, which makes me sound ancient. But in the past 10 years, like ska too, the way that like crept into mainstream fashion, like the number of people, like I remember in high school and in college, like if you saw somebody walking around, this is totally off topic, but fuck it.
Yeah.
If you were walking down the street and you saw somebody with slip-on black and white checkered Vans,
right?
Like if you walked up to that person sight unseen and you just went, yo, do you like Streetlight Manifesto? The answer a billion out of a billion times would have been like, oh my God, they're my favorite band.
Yes.
And now you've got people walking around with like, oh, I'm going to sound even more fucking ancient. Suicide Boys, 21 Pilots, Kanye West, fucking... There are Taylor Swift fans that are walking around in black and white checkered vans.
Hey, let people rock what they want to rock.
No judgment on them, but it used to be like... It used to be a signifier. There, I have deeply held personal beliefs about like, we kind of... There's a generation that failed at gatekeeping, and that's why that's there. So that's a conversation that nobody really wants to have. But at some point, I'll just be the asshole to everybody and explain to them why it's kind of fucked up. But wear whatever you want, do whatever you want. God bless, as long as you're not hurting anybody else, you're good.
Yeah.
But like, it is so... That is such a weird phenomenon that like... You could go to a Bad Bunny show and somebody's wearing like the Minor Threat sheep and like...
No, it was like on his stage. It was like his set design.
Yeah. Where did that come from? My first and my most honest reaction is like, cool, but also at the Bad Bunny show, I'm giving Dan the side eye in the video. Like, really?
I was very confused by it. All right, my hot take, I don't think a quarterback is going to win the Super Bowl MVP this year. I think it's going to be a defensive player or a wide receiver.
I think, I'm not saying it, I'm not jinxing it, I'm not, everybody calm down. I'm putting my giant disclaimer in neon lights. You guys can't see, but in neon lights behind me, Dan, there is a giant neon sign that says disclaimer. Am I right? Dan is vouching for me. Let's assume that it's a Patriots win. I am in full agreement with you, and it's one of three names. Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, or Christian Gonzalez. I think those are my top three names where I can see the path of a game on Sunday where one of those three names is just such a standout. Like, Stephon Diggs with his comeback and his ability to just be like, I don't think anybody was expecting Stephon Diggs to be Julian Edelman part 2 with the way that he's played for a lot of this season. Kayshon Boutte has the ability to stretch the field. He doesn't always get to do it, but I could see a reality where this game ends up with him just breaking out and being like, I'm the fucking superstar. Or I could see a real big grinded out game where like 2 or 3 turnovers where Christian Gonzalez turns around and ends up like making really big plays, getting some really big turnovers. That I could see him, like them really flipping the script and giving it to a defensive player.
I can see Milton Williams or Christian Barmore.
I'd be okay with that too.
Just putting the pressure on Sam Darnold all day. Christian Gonzalez, I could see a path for. I mean, it could be someone we least expect. I mean, also that. I mean, I could see Stephon Diggs. I could see Kayshon Boutte. It usually will go to the quarterback, but like that is. But I my take is it's going to go to a non-quarterback this year.
If Drake really steps up, if Drake becomes the deciding factor, especially his legs, if that becomes the deciding factor, then okay, I can see that happening. But I'm not seeing that as clearly as I'm seeing some others.
For sure. All right. 3, 2, 1. let's both say who we think is going to win the Super Bowl. 3, 2, 1.
Patriots.
Patriots.
As the kids say, I just think we got that dog in us.
I just see it. I see it happening this year. I feel good. Why not us? I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah. I'm ready for it. Patriots Nation is ready for it. I think we are. I think for all the talk of schedules and everything else,
It'll shut everybody up.
And it's not even so much that we've proved it to everybody else. I think, well, it kind of is. I think it feels earned. And I think that diehard Patriots fans would agree. Like, it just feels, even you and I, even those of us that have been here, like born and raised in this shit, even we got to a point in those last few years with Brady where it was just kind of like, yeah, of course we're going to win the AFC Championship game. Of course, yep, we're going to the Super Bowl. This is great. Like, we've got the team. There was a little bit of like a foregone conclusion aspect to it. And now we're at the point where that has totally disappeared and you can look at it a little bit more objectively. And I'm still sitting there doing my absolute damnedest to be as objective as possible and going, we're not standing, heads above the Seahawks as far as roster goes.
No.
But I do think that we have a better roster.
I think we have the better coach in this situation. And
absolutely.
Mike Vrabel has proven it all year round. I mean, a lot of those games that we were in came down to coaching, and we were in all those games because of his great work this season. And I think time and time again this season, it's coaching. And I think we have the better coach and we have the better quarterback. And when you have those two things, you have a great chance at winning a lot of games. You have a good chance of winning the Super Bowl. Speaking of good coaches, Bill Belichick snubbed.
All right. We're going to wrap this up with hold on. Sorry. It's entirely too late for anybody from the Chalk Factory to be texting me. What the fuck?
It's 10 o'clock.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Okay. Bill Belichick being snubbed. I'm glad you mentioned it. Shall we close out with my little show notes corner?
Yeah.
Because point number 1 on my show notes for this week, Belichick snub. What in the fuck are we talking about?
I've seen a couple think pieces on this. It's kind of similar to how the Baseball Hall of Fame, someone mentioned this. They mentioned it's kind of like the Baseball Hall of Fame not letting in Barry Bonds because of the whole steroids and Barry Bonds being prickly to the press. Very reminiscent of Belichick. Yeah, Belichick was a fucking asshole, but if he can't be first ballot, then what you're saying is no coach ever going forward can't be first ballot. So when Mike Tomlin or John Harbaugh or any of those other coaches come up on the ballot, they also can't be first ballot.
And what we know is that that's not going to be true. So what are we talking about? Bill Belichick is not, oh, but his record when he wasn't with Brady and he was. You're talking about a man who has eight rings, 8 Super Bowl rings as a coordinator and as a head coach / GM.
The greatest football coach, or at least NFL coach of all time.
You're for some petty bullshit. And there were multiple, not only, I read a couple of the think pieces too, but I also saw some people that are actually like registered voters for the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
Right.
That were saying like, if this is about Spygate, I did that too. And I'm confused as to how this feels like.
That was a thing multiple coaches did back in those days. That was a thing.
It was a widespread thing. The Patriots were the ones that got caught. And not only that, but there were a couple of people that were talking about, you know, when it first got announced, like, oh, it's another Robert Kraft hit job. Kraft has gone, for everything negative that you can say about the Kraft and Belichick relationship, Kraft has gone out of his way to be as positive as possible in the public sphere when talking about Bill Belichick. This is not a Kraft hit job. This is, from what I can gather from what I've read, this is just like elementary school snobbery bullshit of the absolute highest, or like, and you know, we're
apparently one of the big voters, or one of the voters who, this is alleged, and this is being reported, so we don't actually know if it's true or not, but Bill Polian, who was the GM for the Buffalo Bills and the Colts when they had Peyton Manning and all those fellas, he was the one who was like, no, don't vote for him. I'm not voting for him, and really pounding the table, allegedly, to get people to not vote for Belichick. And I don't know if it's out of pettiness or spite, out of all the times Peyton Manning lost to New England. But like, I know that there was one voter who came out and he said he voted for so the way that this works, I think it's called the senior committee. So it's senior players as well as contributors to the game. So contributors to the game, it includes like owners and coaches and stuff like that. And then there's older players included with that. Like Roger Craig was included from the San Francisco 49ers. There was LC Green, who was Greenwood, I think, from like the Steelers back in the 70s. And this person was like, oh, I voted for like the players because I figured other people would vote for Belichick in. And I wanted these players to remain on the ballot. My thing is, if these players weren't good enough to be voted in earlier when they were up for their common vote, why do we think they're good enough now? Are we just dropping the standards of being in the NFL Hall of Fame? I think it's one of the highest honors that football players should be in. And if they're not good enough the first time, well, maybe the second go around. But like, I think Belichick deserves to be that first ballot. He deserves, out of anyone, him and Robert Kraft, both deserve to go in together.
I realize that this is getting some of the conversation around this is getting very close to like a Met Gala who wore it best, just absolute nonsense. But I think that being said, your point still stands and actually kind of enforces that point. If not, let me remove my metaphorical Patriots hat for a second and repeat what I just said. The winningest coach, the man outside,
He's not the winningest coach.
outside of the total,
Besides George Halas.
the total wins, the man with the most rings, who managed to maintain as a head coach and GM a 20-year dynasty that terrorized this entire league, and that is probably the point, is that he terrorized the league, and he wasn't Mr. Wonderful.
He was a dick. Like, Belichick was a fucking dick. But, like...
And you know what?
I don't know.
And here's my opinion. Yeah, he was a dick. There are unconfirmed reports that there are many people that have reported that they've met Belichick out in the wild, and that he's been a perfectly warm and hospitable person and shaken people's hands and been Mr. Personality until they started talking to him about football, and then he would shut down. That makes sense.
It's like you run into...
It's his day job.
I was about to say that. Like, I mean, it's like someone running into you and they start asking about your job.
I have a literal FaceTime call with my parents yesterday. It's perfectly nice, and we were talking about, catching up. How was the week? They just spent some time, hanging out on an island because they're retirees and they get to do that shit. Like, everything is nice. My parents, two people that I love intrinsically, went, and hey, by the way, we have a question about the chalk factory. And my immediate response was just like, Jesus fucking Christ, why? Please stop talking. Yeah. The dude's a dick. He doesn't want to get up. I would not want to get onto this microphone and start talking about my day job. I'm pretty sure this is a name
of an episode. It's the Football Hall of Fame. It's not the Hall of Morality. Like, it's not like, oh, this person was super nice to me, like I'm gonna vote him in. No, like it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's not like who's the nicest coach Hall of Fame.
They don't ask how, they ask how many. And I'm sorry, guys, but Belichick has the many. And then some. So
it's
the snub is...
It's funny because, like, baffling. I remember...
Absolutely baffling.
I like to hate watch the Sports Hub on YouTube. And Folger was like... He actually called this. He said... one or two of them are going to get elected. Like, it's so like the senior finalists right now, it's between Belichick, Kraft, and then it's Ken Anderson, former quarterback from the 80s, played for the Bengals. Really good player, actually. Underrated quarterback. Besides the point. Roger Craig and L.C. Greenwood. And he called that... one, not both of them are going to get in. One or like it's going to be one or the other getting in. Not going to be both. And I hate to say that he's right, but like he fucking called that shit. He called that shit. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's Robert Kraft getting into the Hall of Fame. Shot. He deserves it, honestly. Like, I mean, his team, I mean, let me see, the Super Bowl in 96, 2001, 2003, 2004, 2007, 2010, 14, 16. Like, he's been to 10 Super Bowls, like, the owner of. Like, that's impressive, like, since his ownership.
While keeping it in the family and not spending...
So, I think it's going to be Robert Kraft.
Money to make it happen.
He deserves it, but I mean, if you had to pick one or the other, who would you pick? Yeah.
Belichick or Kraft?
I would have to go Bill too.
I'm going Bill.
He's more impactful.
It's just more like we're talking about the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Like, ownership is ridiculously important. Stability in ownership is ridiculously important. It's the only reason why we have Mike Vrabel as our head coach right now is because the Tennessee Titans were like that front office is just it's FUBAR. It's just it's a disaster area. So it's important. And to have a family owned business in the NFL for as long as the Crafts have had it, and to be a fan first, we want to win championships. We want to we are it's as close as the NFL will probably ever get to.
Besides the Packers,
franchise.
The Packers,
the way
fans
that
do own
certain
the
soccer
Packers.
teams are,
you can buy shares of the Packers. Yeah,
all the flowers there, but I think the more impactful and the more immediate results can be tied to Bill Belichick. It's insane. It's insane that he would not be a first ballot Hall of Famer. They changed the rules like a year or two ago to make it only 1 year after retirement. And I think that there's a lot of people that are kind of betting on the fact that he's going to come back and he's going to try and go for the total wins record and blah, 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 blah. It doesn't matter. The rules are what they are as they stand right now. And the fact that under those rules, he's not a first ballot Hall of Famer is just, I'm not buying it. It's just another example of,
it's ridiculous.
This is kangaroo court. What are we doing? This isn't the guy. This isn't the guy that everybody.
I think even the biggest Patriots hater
just to hold your nose and be like, "Yeah, he did the thing."
Will sit there and be like, "Yeah, he deserves it." If anyone deserves it, it's him. And I think I haven't seen one person on the internet that was like, "Yep, Belichick doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame first ballot." I think everyone is kind of shocked by it. Everyone's kind of in agreement for once that because that doesn't happen very often. Everyone's kind of in agreement. If Andy Reid goes up for the Hall of Fame, he can't be first ballot either. You're we could get real deep on my theories and my bitching and moaning about the fact that words have meaning. The English language needs to mean something if it's going to be this thing that we keep saying, and if you're going to talk about first ballot Hall of Famers, if it doesn't mean anything,
is not a first ballot Hall of Famer, then
it means
first ballot Hall of Famer
no one deserves it, and
mean anything.
The fact that the NFL Hall of Fame came out with a statement that was like, if any of our voters are violating the rules, we will remove them from voting power, and it's good, fucking do that. And honestly, one thing that I like about the Baseball Hall of Fame, not everyone does this, but there is a website that you can track the Baseball Hall of Fame voters. And if a voter wants to add their vote to the public spreadsheet or whatever, everyone can see who they voted for. And I think let's make these ballots public. I want to see who you voted for and why. I don't know. I don't need to know the why. I just need to know who you voted for. Are you using all your votes? Because for the Baseball Hall of Fame, it's a shit show. Baseball Hall of Fame, you can vote up to 10 players into the Hall of Fame every year. And there are cases where baseball writers just they vote for one person and that's it. That shit's public. I don't know, man. Let's see those public votes. I want to see who didn't vote for him. Is it just some petty writer from New York? Some petty writer from the Indianapolis Colts? Because you had that whole Deflategate. Or like, I don't know, man, it's so dumb. What else is in your show notes?
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. Well, I've got to get to the chalk factory in a matter of hours. So I'll save a couple of the other ones. There's a little bit of bitching. I've got two more. Number one, which I think will be pretty easy, pretty simple, but there was a kid, I forget his name. I'm sorry. I know you subscribed to the podcast and you were looking forward to this episode. I'm horrendous with names.
You can barely remember my name.
I lived with Dan for I agreed to live with Dan on a Facebook group. And I remember taking the Red Line up into Boston to go see Basement with my best friend at the time to meet you there. And I remember sitting on the Red Line and being like, "Oh, and your friend from school that you're going to, like, tell me a little bit more about him." And I was like, he's got red hair.
Anyways.
I am genuinely fucking terrible with this shit. So apologies to you, sir. I'm sure I'll run into you at the Tune again. He wanted me to say on the podcast, I'm not entirely buying it, but I don't think it's the worst thing in the world. We don't do a lot of betting. We don't do a lot of that kind of analysis on this show, but we have talked hot takes, and I think it's a pretty hot take. If you're going to bet, he said,
I mean,
Mac
I think
Hollins,
there were a couple games,
most receptions in the Super Bowl.
That's tough because I think there's multiple games this season where they had a different leading receiver week to week.
Oh yeah. There have been plenty of games this season that have been like that. I think that an argument can be made because of how hungry he is. The Warriors thing last week. I did turn around the day after the episode posted. I rented it on Amazon. I did go and watch the Warriors again, and it's still one of my favorite. I don't know how much experience you have with this, Dan, but there's a bunch of like these action movies from the 80s that are like, they're not good movies. They're not bad movies. They're just entertaining for, like, the acting's not great. The soundtrack is fine. The cinematography is like, I don't profess to know all that much about it. I used to talk a big game about it, and I'm still just like, if something looks cool, it looks cool. The Warriors is like this perfect, like 80s
I'm gonna have to watch it.
That is just, if you haven't watched it, dude, you got to go watch it. It's just so much fun. It's so much fun. So Mac Hollins bringing the Warriors back in, and my favorite team talking about one of my, like, quoting one of my favorite movies
I will buy that Mac Hollins will catch the most receptions. You know what? I'll buy that take. Go. I'm not going to sell it. I'll buy that take. You know what?
I don't know.
I'll buy it.
I'm not spending that money, but I don't think that's the worst. I don't think that's the worst bet that somebody could do. So our lukewarm betting take heading into the Super Bowl, if you think that Mac Hollins is going to get the most receptions, if you're buying what this kid's selling, put your money in, because Dan and I are putting Monopoly money in. Fuck it. All right. And then I've got one last one, and then I've got a plug at the end of the episode, and we can we'll do that. We can leave the cards on the table as they are,
we'll
and
wrap it up.
Recoup after Sunday. we're swinging violently into the other direction of this podcast.
Explosions.
My note just says explosions. And this is in reference to a little show that my co-host here, Mr. Dan Mayotte, went to. It's a follow-up on our episodes with our friend Brad.
I did. I went to
Dan, you went to something in the Way
that.
Fest, the Run for Cover festival.
Yeah, because I live around the corner from the venue, I showed up whenever I wanted to. I didn't have to show up early. I showed up exactly when I wanted to. I saw... Who did I see? I'm going to look at I saw Tiger's Jaw. I saw The Hotelier. Saw Angel Dust. Angel Dust probably had my favorite set that weekend, or up there. And I'm just talking about the first day. After The Hotelier, it was Explosions in the Sky. And boy, they put on a good show. I caught, I would say, probably like 30 minutes of their set. They were playing like 90 minutes. So I caught a third of their set. And yeah, holy shit, dude.
I've never got the chance to see Explosions in the Sky live. I'm obviously, especially if you've listened to those episodes, like, I'm very familiar with their catalog. I know a bunch of, they've done a bunch of movie soundtracks. Famously, they did the original soundtrack for Friday Night Lights, which heavily featured my favorite song of all time, Your Hand in Mine. But I've wanted to see Explosions.
I wrote a couple notes here.
I've wanted to see them. Dan got to see them. And you texted me, oh, you have notes. Oh, hell yeah. So Dan got to see them, and I'm super jealous and fucking...
So,
dude, what were your thoughts? What were you thinking?
So I texted you,
especially based on the research that you had to do for our episode.
I was like,
Brad.
I'll go check it out for a little bit, especially since we just did the episode on them. And the week before, or was it the week before? I forget. Yeah, it was. It was the week before. I saw my local symphony do an all Williams program, and I've been to symphony concerts before. They're fantastic. If you have a chance, definitely go. We saw the Imperial March live in person, so that was so very sick. And obviously, John Williams is he's a musical genius. He's done it all. And watching a symphony is kind of incredible. You have 40, 50 musicians up on stage, and they all know exactly what they should be doing and when, and it's so curated, and it's kind of like watching football, kind of, in a way. Everyone just knows exactly what they need to do and what their job and role is. And that's what it felt like watching Explosions in the Sky. It felt like seeing a symphony, except with guitars and bass and electric instruments. And it gave me that same feeling I had seeing that all John Williams program the week before.
Yeah, I just think they call the genre post-rock, and for those of you that are more interested in like getting into more of the nitty-gritty of this kind of stuff, there 2-3 episodes ago we talk a lot about this. I think that the whole post-rock thing that bled into the emo scene definitely... I think that there is, when you're in the room and you're watching it happen, yeah, it's that like I've gotten the chance to see a couple of symphony orchestras. I've seen the Boston Pops.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely seen the Mashpee down on the Cape. Seen the Mashpee Pops a couple of times. It's one thing to see, 50, 60, 70, 100 people up on stage.
It was 4 people.
Throwing those sounds at you in a coordinated way. Yeah, and I think that's kind of the thing. Sounds so fucking goof nugget, like cornball, to say like, oh, it was amazing what these 4 people managed to do. Because
you know what?
We
You know
talk
what's
about that.
something funny? I wrote in my notes
talk about shout out
turnover,
to
animal flag. Because I was just like, yep, there's turnover, and they were like, here, that's mine now, and animal flag. If you haven't had a chance to check out Animal Flag, you should. They were a fantastic band.
Yep.
It's kind of in that same vein. Animal Flag is.
You get that. You get like 4 or 5 people up on the stage, and they are just the sheer, like the physical push of the sound from the stage to your body is, again, it sounds so.
It really is.
Like just giving people too many flowers or whatever, but like it's magical.
What I didn't.
So watching those 4 guys on
I don't
stage,
want to sound.
I imagine.
I think this is always said like, yeah, like the record doesn't do it justice. It really doesn't. Recordings don't do it justice. What I didn't realize, 2 bass players at the same time, and like he switches off. One of them switches off between bass and guitar like frequently. That is sick.
Yeah.
But
I think his name is Munaf.
But 2 bass players at the same time, just
Munaf,
doing their own thing, doing what they.
Think that guy's name is Munaf.
You don't see that very often. Usually, it's I've seen like 3 guitar players and like a bass player. You don't see 3.
Yeah. I was very jealous of the fact that you got to see them and just got to like wander in and be like, yeah, I guess I'll check out Explosions. We've talked about them before. Like that's a really cool position to be in. And yeah, I was just excited to hear what your thoughts were on actually getting to see them and experience it. Did they play any of, like, were there any songs that you recognized?
Yes. I'm bad with song titles, but let me look up the set list real quick. Explosions in the sky. Damn, only 10 songs, but like, they got some long songs. They got some long boys in there. Let me look at now I'm looking at the No, we're not looking at turnover. So they started with First Breath After Coma, which I immediately was oh, yes, of course. And then that was the album I listened to. And then let me see. They played The Birth and Death of the Day, Loved Ones, Greet Death, Yasmin and Light, Catastrophic and The Cure, Magic Hours, Your Hand in Mine.
Were you there for Your Hand in Mine?
I think I left before that. I left before then, which is a shame. I had to get home at that point.
Yeah, well, for any listeners that know or are worried, how is your beloved doing?
She's doing better. yeah, she's recovering from ACL surgery, so she's doing better now. You know, she's you know, she now has a repaired ACL.
Perfect.
So she'll be in playing shape in 6 months to a year.
We'll see how she matches up with my defensive back abilities.
Yeah, right. I sounded like a real coach there. I'm like, oh yeah, she'll be back on the field in like a.
She'll be back soon.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. And Explosion in the Sky. Definitely go see them if you have the chance to see them live.
Yeah, I will. Next time they come through.
Do it.
All right, buddy. Anything else that you want to add or plug or anything to?
Oh, listen to No Warning. No Warning was sick. They played one of my favorite sets from Something in the Way.
Can confirm.
They're like that nice. They are a nice thrashy hardcore band. So check them out. Go listen to them. Good workout music.
No Warning is sick. We are about to get, for those of you that have been chronically online since 2011, Teen Suicide, still signed to Run for Cover. They are putting out new music.
And Basement.
Yeah, Basement's got some new stuff, and I do have a plug.
And Citizen.
We have a plug that's going to play us out tonight. My big homie, Zach Dickerson. He is a shred master extraordinaire. Really, really, really good guitarist. He just put out his first solo single.
Hell yeah.
It is mostly instrumental. It is 6 minutes long. If you like guitar shredding, this is right up your alley. And I have told him basically since I met him that if I do manage to get a band off the ground, he is my first call, and I expect him to take that call and to jump into a van. Just a ridiculously good dude. It's kind of like you can tell he's a Mississippi boy. There's some Southern rock influence there, but it's like if you're into any of the more shreddy parts of Turnstile, or just like a Randy Rhoads fan,
hell yeah,
this kid's fucking got you. So listen to the little sample here at the end, and go stream it. Go support him however you can. I will gladly wear a Zach Dickerson shirt with some sort of stupid meme like the ones that we send each other all the time on just fully on my breast. Give me t-shirts. Everybody knows I love a good t-shirt. Give me a t-shirt.
You'll have some Dickerson on your
I'll have some Dickerson on my breast. Not the title of the episode, but probably should be.
I mean, I'm sorry. Like it was too easy. It was right there. I'm sorry. I'm sure he gets that a lot.
I'm going to see if I can find the video of him popping a balloon, which sound... check the Instagram. We'll find out. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. This is the Packy Run pre-Super Bowl extravaganza. We will either be openly sobbing on the next episode or telling everybody that we were right all along and that we are the greatest franchise that has ever existed.
Or openly sobbing.
One of the two. We'll find out.
Yeah. Check us out on Instagram, Packy Run Pod. I'm Mandayat. He's AJ's not home. And we will talk to you soon. We'll talk to you next week.
Bye-bye.
Bye.